Grand Rising Divine Legends. I'm here with a short practice. We're going to start with some breath work. We're going to roll some joints out, and we're going to move our bodies, move some energy. So if you've been sitting at a desk all day, or if you have been experiencing some grief, I'm here to move you and move your energetic body so that we can create space for more joy, for more love, wisdom, truth, vitality, health, all of it. I go on and on. But with that, let's just roll the shoulders up and back away from the ears, close the eyes, tall spine, a little bit of resistance, like pulling the belly in to protect the low back as we sit here, right? And let's begin to breathe. So hands can stay on the knees, they can be down or up. You can do a mudra with your thumb and your first finger together, extending the other three fingers. Just notice, if you like that, what it brings. Hands could come to heart center, hands could rest in the lap. You decide. Close your eyes and let's begin to breathe. Taking a big breath in and let that go with a big ah. So we're cleansing out first. Big inhale. Odd out. Ah. Do that one more time. Big inhale in. Odd that out. Ah. Now we sit with the breath for a few moments. Long and smooth, evening the inhale with the exhale. Hearing your breath come in through the back of the throat. Feeling the belly extend, the chest lift. On the inhale, everything sinking back to the ground on the exhale. Feel your long breath in. Feel your long breath out, just evening the breath, coming into this present moment. Having the intention for the practice now. And for the next inhale, open your eyes, extend your left arm out and reach your right arm up overhead, turning that palm up toward the sky to open the shoulder. Take an inhale here. And exhale. Inhale up. Right hand down, left hand up. And we'll take a deep breath here. And exhale. We're going to twist from side to side. And it's really at your own pace here, staying in your breath. Just feeling that long, tall spine, twisting from the waist, hip points, staying pointing forward. We're not moving the hips at all. We're just twisting from the waist with our tall spine, maybe looking over the shoulder, just going from side to side at a pace that feels good to you. If my pace is faster than you want, slow it down. Your practice, you get to decide. Do one more each side. And then let's extend the arms out. We're going to make eagle arms. So because my right leg is in front, I'm going to have my left arm come on top. For my eagle arms that can find my shoulders with the palms, or the palms can find each other or come close. So decide where you want to be there. We're going to flex the shoulders, floss the shoulders for a moment. Inhale up. Exhale, elbows down towards your belly. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, sink back down to the belly. One more inhale, lift up. Exhale, sink back down to the body. Lift halfway up. Tighten the belt around your waist. Keep your flat back as you fold forward. Go slow, incrementally, coming into a fold that's not deep. You want your hips planted on the mat, not lifting at all. If they lift, you've gone too far. Keep your chin from tucking. Take another breath here. Exhale all the way. And a little bit of swaying from side to side. If that feels good to you, and it may be a very small movement, I do this often. So you're going to see me go pretty deep in this side to side movement, but yours doesn't have to look like mine. We're turning our oblique muscles on. One more breath. Come through center on your inhale. Drop in, uncross your arms, tuck your chin in, round your back as low as you can go, keeping your hips connected, and breathe into your hips. One more breath. Lean over toward this left side and take your right hand on your right knee and push it toward the earth, opening up your side seat. Take a breath. Inhale up, tall spine, and we'll change the cross of the legs. Other leg comes in front. I'm going to pull my hair back, starting to warm up. So we'll do the same thing with our eagle arms on this side. We're going to spread the arms wide from the shoulders. We're going to cross the right arm on top of the left this time. Again, shoulders or palms if that feels good to you. Inhale as you lift your elbows up towards your chin. Exhale as you drop them down towards your belly. Again, flossing the shoulders. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more lift up. Exhale down. We're going to come halfway up. Exhale all the way. And then tighten the belt around your waist. You're folding forward incrementally, going slow, not lifting the hips. If they lift, you've gone too far. Find your edge and take a breath. And then that swaying motion, if that feels good to you, you can stay right down the center, just holding the stillness, breathing into the shoulder stretch, hip opener, or that little bit of swaying to turn your oblique muscles on. Taking one more breath here. Come through center on your inhale. Drop down into this fold, tucking the chin in, rounding the spine as low as you can go. Breathe into your hip. One more breath. Lean over toward that right side. Stay low. Take your left hand on that left knee. Push it to the earth. Breathe into that side seat. One more breath. Finding your tabletop next. So we're going to find our knees under our hips, our hands under our shoulders. We wag the tail when we get here to find that alignment, making those small micro movements to adjust. Wrists right under shoulders, knees right under hips. When you feel you've got there, come through center. We'll inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the chin and the tailbone, and then exhaling, pushing the floor away, rounding and scooping in, articulating the spine with the breath here. So we're inhaling, dropping into our cow posture, and then exhaling, rounding up into the cat posture. And if it doesn't coordinate, just like I said, you're okay. You can exhale on your cow posture and inhale on your cat posture. You can change it up. Yoga is not perfection. Yoga is practice. Yoga is falling in love with your form, coming into deep relationship with your own body. We have a few more rounds here. If you want to add in any extra movement, maybe a little bit of circling the hips, if that feels good, you might circle the hips around. If it feels good as you inhale to bend your elbows and stretch through your chest a little bit. If it feels good, pull your hips back as you exhale. Get a little deeper into that back, low back bend. Maybe tucking toes as you inhale. We got a few more rounds. We're just in the body, waking it up, stretching it out, releasing tension that we may have picked up during our day. Find neutral spine on your next inhale. Pull your shoulders back, tight belt around the waist. And we'll find a kneeling plank from here and start some flowing motion. So hands will come up toward that short edge. And you're going to drop your hips about 45-degree angle. You don't want to come lower than your shoulders. You're taxing the shoulder socket and really compromising your low back. You want your hips lifted, flat back, abs engaged. Take an inhale as you gaze out, long neck and spine. Keep that belt tight around your waist. Hug tennis balls under your armpits so that your bicep and tricep engage, and lower. It could be halfway, it could be just a little. Inhale, lift back up, pushing up, using those bicep, tricep strength muscles, and then exhaling, pulling back toward your heels, not dropping into your child pose. We're flowing. Inhale, flat back, kneeling plank. Hug the tennis ball, lower on the exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull back. Couple more. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, lower, hugging that tennis ball so the elbows skim the body every time. Inhale, push up. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, flat back. Last one. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. Find your child pose. Hold for 2 breaths. Knees can pull apart if that feels good to drop in a little deeper. As you inhale, lift your upper body up. Little wrist care here. Bring the hands together. Cross the fingers over one way, one thumb on top, and make a figure 8. And then reverse that. And then we'll recross. So come through center, uncross, and recross the other way so the other thumb comes on top. Figure 8, one direction. And then reverse that. And then just shake them out gently. Both directions. We're coming into down dog next. So you want that monkey grip. You want to find those tips of your fingers and that heel of your hand, creating a little space in the center of your palm. A good way to protect the palm when we're in the practice. So find that monkey grip, tuck the toes, lift your hips up, and start to walk your dog. And I like to, after a few rounds of just regular pressing one heel as I bend one knee, I start to bring my knee over my midline. And I funky walk just to get into my IT band a little bit. And I want to just show you that there are ways to modify your practice and change it up to make it really your own practice and what feels good to your body. Come through center. We're going to start to baby step in, that tiny little baby step. We press the heel down every time, tenting the fingers as we get closer to them so that we're connected to the mat the whole time we're walking up, taking our time to come into forward fold at the top of the mat. Let the belly rest on the thighs. Let your head be heavy, upper body heavy. Find your elbows with your opposite hands. Do a little swaying, rocking. Feel your feet rocking back and forth into the toes and then into the heel. See if you can spread your toes even more. Come through halfway, lifting, finding that length through your legs and your spine, and then exhale, folding back down. We're going to roll up like a rag doll. So slightly bend the knees, keep the head heavy, chin tucked in, arms are heavy. We're rolling up like a rag doll. One vertebrae at a time, rolling the shoulders first when we get up, and then lifting that chin, allowing the blood to come slowly back into the head. Take an inhale, reach up. Exhale, we're folding, hinging from the hips, flat back as we come down, rounding at the bottom. Hands are coming through heart center. Halfway lift on your next inhale. Exhale, plant your hands under the shoulders and find your plank pose, holding for 3 breaths. So long through the spine, gazing out the front edge to keep your neck long. Hips are up towards shoulder height. They're not down here. You want to turn your core on and pull your hips up to the height of your shoulders. Keeping a flat back, your whole body engaged. Heating up. One more breath. Next inhale, we shift forward onto the tippy toes. Hug that tennis ball under your armpit. Stay on the toes if you want, or drop to the knees, coming down onto the belly. halfway lift, or up dog if you're on the toes, and then back into your down dog on your exhale. And we're going to flow that, the high-low push-up, the chaturanga, a few times for our practice tonight. Inhale, shift into your plank pose. Onto the tippy toes, hug that tennis ball. Lowering down, I'm always going to find my knees and come onto the belly to honor a broken elbow I had some years ago. Back to down dog on the exhale. Take a breath. So we're moving big, moving that energy, using our breath, building strength. Inhale, plank pose onto the tippy toes. Hug that tennis ball. Saving your shoulder girdle every time. Lowering, skimming the body with the elbows, pressing the top of the feet in if you're on the belly. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down dog. We got one more. Inhale, plank pose. Hug that tennis ball. Lower on the exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down dog. And dropping the knees down under the hips or wide to the edges, keeping big toes together, and find your child pose and catch your breath. One more breath here. We're going to do a big hip opener from here. So having created that heat in the body, we'll come into tabletop. Bring your knees under your hips if they moved out wide for that child pose. Hands under the shoulders, flag your tail, just to feel your alignment. And then we're going to stack knees from here. So bring your left knee to the center of your mat. You're going to cross your right leg over your left. We're stacking our knees from tabletop, opening the feet to the edges of the mat. So you're going to sit back and you're going to feel your knees open up. They will open up. And they may open up a lot, and that's okay. That's where you are. Now you're trying to get both sit bones on to the mat. And if you're really tight in your hips, especially if you sit at a desk regularly and you don't practice, right, you're going to be really tight. And it's okay for your hips to move all the way out. It's also okay to go get some props. If you have a pillow, if you cannot find the mat, if you're so tight here and this knee's way out here, go get a pillow and lift that floor up to you. It's okay to get props in our practice to support our postures, to support these movements, to really help us release, find liberation and freedom in this expression. The whole point of the practice, right? To release resistance, release limited beliefs, release grief, release stagnation, release pain, release discomfort. We want to feel good in our bodies. We're finding a tall spine. We're breathing into this. The feet are flexed to protect the ankles. Wherever you are, you're just breathing into your hips. This is a big hip opener with the knees stacked on top of each other. We're breathing. Find your breath. Hips are opening on their own. It probably feels pretty uncomfortable while you're breathing into it. We're practicing accessing the breath, even when there's a lot of chaos going on. Our breath is our best friend. It's like a big drink of water for the lungs when you're feeling that resistance or that chaos or that discomfort or that dis-ease. Take those big, long breaths. One more. We'll come out of this the way that we came into it. So you're going to use a little bit of momentum to come back onto your knees, hoisting yourself back up. Uncross. Find that tabletop and wag from side to side, kind of releasing a little bit through the hips. So now bring the right knee to the center of the mat. You'll cross the left over the right. Open the feet up to the edges of your mat. And then start to sit back, and same thing, your knees will open up. It's where you are. Find that support. If you are really lifted up on that side, get that pillow, shove it under there. Just lift the floor up to you. It's okay to support yourself in your practice. Keep the feet flexing to protect the ankles and the knees, finding your tall spine and breathing. A little bit of a belt around the waist, right? I'm pulling my belly in just to protect the low back during the practice, especially when we're transitioning into our postures. You really want to protect your low back by keeping that belt tight around your waist. Long, smooth breaths here. Training the brain to find the breath no matter what. Spend my way forward to mental wholeness. Absolutely. Learning to take deep breaths has saved my life more than one time. We're going to take one more breath here. Exhaling all the way, realizing that the magic is at the bottom of the breath. Finding our tabletop again. So use that momentum, hoist back up into your tabletop, uncross, and we'll come back onto the backs to complete the practice by windshield wipering out these knees. So come onto your back, take your feet wide to the edges of your mat. You can keep your arms long from your shoulders, or you can goalpost them if that feels okay to open the shoulders a little more. My knees automatically came together. Often I'm starting in a supported supine, and that's how I guide us. So that's where my knees went, but I want them wide. We're going to open these hips that we just really got into a little more. So we're going to windshield wiper the knees from side to side and just go at your own pace and look over the opposite shoulder. So you might hang out a little bit on one side if it feels good. Or just windshielding from side to side. Just releasing all that tension out of the hips. And then we'll come through center. We'll bring the knees into the chest, hugging across the shins or behind the knees. Stay off your knee joints. Roll across that low back. Use your own body weight to massage into that low back, breaking up some myofascia on the surface. Stretching it out once again. Myofascia is our system that senses before our actual physical senses pick up anything. The eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, right? Your myofascia system is your first sensory system. It's picking up the subtle energies all around. So we want to take care of our myofascia system. Come through center. Let's roll our ankle joints around both directions. And then we're going to find happy baby. So pulling the knees open, grabbing your feet where you like to grab them. That might be the outside edges. It might be the inside arches. It might be the big toes. Everybody's a little different where they like to hold their feet for happy baby. So just find what works for you. Pull your knees toward your armpits. Feel the groin, inner thigh. Open up. Breathe into that. And then, as though we have no care in the whole wide world, let's start to rock across that low back like a happy baby. Like we're just one big happy infant with not a care in the world. Put that smile on your face and just remember you're in your present moment. And right now, right here, nothing's wrong. You're on your back, floating like a baby in the bath or on the bed. Come through center. You might pull one heel in as you extend the other heel out. I'm going to flow this a few rounds from side to side, getting a final stretch for the back of my leg. Before I come into final resting pose for a few breaths to end the practice, recognizing it was short, but very sweet to move that energy like we have, to feel opened up again, to feel stretched out, to feel more freedom in my expression. Come through center, bring your knees into your chest, hug them in tightly, take a breath. And as you exhale, pull apart, legs come wide to the edges of your mat. Hands can go where you feel they should. So palms down to the side, palms up to the side. One hand on heart, one hand on belly. Those are the suggestions I like to give. You pick what you want. And be with your breath here for a few moments. Beginning to deepen the breath. Maybe the first movement would be turning head side to side. Might wiggle fingers and toes, roll ankles and wrists around. Gather knees into the chest one at a time when you're ready. So I don't like to rush us out of final resting pose. I like to take the time to move at your own pace. I like to find fetal position from here, maybe a little rocking across the low back as I decide which side of my mat that I'll rock to. Extending that arm on the side I decide so my head finds a little bicep pillow when I get there. I take the free hand on the heart, really to express gratitude to myself for my practice, recognizing how different I am today because of this practice. And I'm so grateful. Take that free hand, push yourself up into a seated position, where we will take a final breath together. And what I like to say is we are breathing in this infinite peace to receive deeper into our hearts, to share with our families, our friends, our neighbors, even those that trigger us. May this light in me honor that same light in you, Divine Legend. Thank you for your commitment to your practice. Namaste. Bless you.